All right, here we have 95 SL500, and a couple of things I'm doing. I'm checking the vacuum on the AC system because AC is totally empty, so I'm going to connect the gauges and see what's happening there with vacuum. Also, I'll do the lower harness because the lower harness is bad. See some wires over here, but I don't think camera will pick up the actual condition on these wires, but they're cracking and falling apart. On the bottom, somebody already taped those wires, but obviously nonetheless that's to be done. These are some wires I brought with me that I will be able to get them replaced. And right now we're going to check how fast vacuum is created. As you can hear, it's a vacuum the machine is creating. Let's hook it up and take a look at the gauge, see how fast the vacuum is created, just to give an idea if the leak is huge or not. I'm gonna leave it just like that while I work on cables. Now this is what's most interesting here right now at this point. Let's open the valve. Here's the vacuum. This gauge is not gonna go all the way to -30, -28 to be exact. That's what's most possible on Earth because of atmospheric pressure, but it usually goes to negative 16 or something. But I see that pressure is not extremely enthusiastic. It's barely moving down, but it's moving down. So yeah, it is moving. Okay, well, the speed of the move is not the greatest, but again, system was empty for so long that we don't even know. It's all dry in there for sure. So anyway, what is what we're gonna do? I'm gonna get this vacuum to sit here. See, it's -10, and if I can get it to -15, I'll be happy. If it's capable of going there. If it is, then the leak is probably not huge. But if it cannot go that low, then I'm gonna close the valve and I will see if the gauge goes back to 0. That will indicate that the leak is big, and then there will be no, you know, I will have to put the dye and check out where it's leaking. Okay, so for now I'll leave it to it and I'll continue on the cables. Okay, so I'm getting ready to do the cables. Let's take a look at the gauge. It's been working for quite a little bit of time, and we do see -20. And like I said, this gauge is not showing all the way to -30. It's just the gauge itself, and I know it's just the vacuum side of it that doesn't work properly, but this is how it always shows. Like I said, I have another set of gauges on order because I need to know my pressures and vacuums right. So let it sit. Let's take a look at wires now. Now, as we see, wires over here already start cracking, so that is something to be dealt with. That's what we're doing now, and they obviously run all the way down. Let's take a look underneath and see what we see underneath here. The car is in really nice shape. There's minimal leaks, which is really nice. There is a little bit of a power steering leak, seepage rather, I would say. It's a little wet above AC compressor. If you look closely, right over there, there's a little droplet. So seeping slightly, nothing major. I've seen way worse. So it seems like somebody replaced the oil pan here. Sticker is still here. Brand new looking pan, brand new looking gasket. Engine mounts, like I said, are pretty dead. Here's one of the engine mounts here. It's pretty low. That's to be done for sure. Other than that, transmission looks dry. Yes, well, a little bit, just there was some residual or something, but it's nothing really. The car is 1995 we're talking about, so not too bad. I'm yet to check up on the idler, but I already see that the boot over there, the center drag link, doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem too good. Let's take a look if I can see the idler. Here's our idler right here, right? I'm looking further up on this ball joint tie rods. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks alright. Let me try to move the wheel. Let's see if... No. Idler is not really as horrible as I thought. It's obviously worn out, but not as horrible. Tie rod seems to be alright. Drag link, even though it's a little ripped here, right over here you can see a little rippage, but actually feels pretty good. Now we end up with the actual steering box. Oh well, bushings, these are kind of old and they're disintegrating a little bit. On this side, much better, so they can still last a little bit. And the cables we're working here with, these are the wires. They're pretty messed up. Somebody taped it already, so we need to get to this right now before they get too bad, and then there will be issues with the lower harness. Okay, now like I said, I'm doing the harness first, suspension to be checked out later. Oh, here we go, another thing. See, it's like sort of looks wet, but to me that's not transmission fluid, it's power steering most likely, because again of the vicinity where it's coming from, it makes me think that that's power steering, because pipe seems to be kind of a replacement unit, because this is original, you can tell, and here's this one, so it seems like it was replaced at some point of time. Well, doesn't seem to be transmission fluid, it doesn't seem to be red, although you know, yeah, it doesn't smell of transmission fluid either. I guess it's coming from above. Okay, I gotta keep going. Okay, wires are done. All fed through original sheeting. You don't really see where they go, except when you see here, you see a little new tape and a little zip tie. And down in there, I'll try to put my camera further in there. You might see a new cables there on the oil pressure switch, and some that go down under. At this point, the machine has been running for quite some time, a long time. We have our needle to go -20 about, so I'm going to close it now. Close the valve, and we'll see if vacuum holds, because right now I'm going to go under the car. These rotten cables here that some mouse ate, I'm going to do the last. I want to lower the car down because it will be easier for me to get to, because you can see some wires are chewed up. So that's the speed sensor, we have to have it. So I'm going to shut down the machine for now. Let's go under the car now. Let's see what we have. Get a flashlight first. Let's take a look what we have there. Now I'm going to probably leave the camera just sitting here, because I just want to show you what's happening, and I don't have to hold it while I'm checking things out. Now, the first thing that I had sort of an issue here is this wheel. hear the sound. Let's take a look at the idler still. Look at the idler first. Yeah, it's moving a little bit. More noise. Still coming from here. So, this is tight. Yeah, this is pretty tight. Although this tie rod is a gunner, there is really nothing there left. Ball joint is cracked here. That is to be replaced. Tie rod over here. It's not like it's loose. It's just that the rubber is bad. Okay. This one is still okay. What have we here? A little bit of oil leak, but that's from the oil level switch. Alright, so idler bushings definitely to do. This ball joint is okay. Center drag link, it's okay, but the noise is mostly coming from the steering box. Yeah, there's play in it. Yeah, that's the steering box for the most part. So I'll try to maybe tighten it up a little bit. I don't like doing that, but it is what it is. So just to recoup, let me get the camera here. Just to recoup real quick. This ball joint right here, you can see rubber is cracking. Alright, so that is to be done. This tie rod rubber is also cracking. Here we have everything okay. Center drag link, the rubber is cracking. That is something to look into. Tie rod on the passenger side also, rubber is cracking. Ball joint here seems to be alright for now, but obviously if we have all these things going, then ball joint probably is not going to last any longer than the one on the other side. Now this seems to be replaced at some point of time. You have a sticker here, Stabilis original. Actually no, wait a minute, that's just because it just survived so good, not replacement piece. But idler, this is the idler, and that's where the bushings are. The long bolt that has to come out, that's that. The engine mounts, this one has a little bit left, but they're pretty much down dead. These are new wires. So at this point, this is where we are. Like I said, with this area, it's a power steering for sure. It's coming from above, it's coming from power steering pump, but it's a very low rate of leak, so that is something that I see at this point. Now, this is basically all for me for now for underneath the car. I'm gonna go and work on top next. So I'm gonna check with the air conditioner, and those wires have to be done. All right, that's about it for underneath. That's what I see.